Hey, what's up, everybody? So, this is my ice build, and I'm going to just kind of talk about that today and talk about just kind of a different type of character for PvP. It's because I see a lot of people who build for just their single player. You might see them build a little bit for other people, but it's not. There's really not enough support. And when you see like those ball guys come in and they just run everybody over and kill everybody, that's because they have built characters specifically for support. You know, there's like PvP guilds. That's what they do. Is they'll have like healers, they'll have buffers, they'll have people who do just that sort of thing, and they'll like guys who just do poison. So I mean, obviously, like your Nightblade and all supposed to tie together a little bit like that. But they build, some of them don't really build for damage at all. I've seen characters who don't really do damage. Maybe the only damage they do is just like a bomb or something. The rest of the time they're just debuffing the crap out of everybody. And if they try to hit you, it's almost laughable up until their devastating move goes off, or up until the person they're essentially buffing or helping out destroys you. And that's what I'm building here. This is that sort of build. This is a helper kind of build for PvP. It's my ice build. I specifically made it when the last DLC came out, not this newer one with the ocean and pirates and all that, you know. So I call it the Santa build, or Jack Frost. This is it's not even really in hat right now, so this is him, and we'll get to it. Let's take a quick jaunt through my my house. I'm actually quite proud of this place. I built most of it, right? I mean, some of it was here, obviously, like the trees and stuff, but I actually put all the stones. I built the huge Stonehenge, you know. So the reason why I said that is I see a lot when I've run with other guilds other than just mine, because I'll get in and sometimes I'll play it up to somebody I've run with who's like been an emperor before, you know, that sort of thing, or other werewolf guilds I've known. And yeah, that is a hidden wall. I don't know if you guys don't see that. This is just something fun when it's dark area like this when you're building. You can make optical illusions. Like you wouldn't even know that's there if I hadn't just walked in there. You know what I mean? I've seen people run by that all the time just because those two. It's the same rock, right? I just happened to put it so there's like a sliver of a difference there, and the angle is what allows it. If I actually put them both straight, it's almost impossible to find. I actually had to angle that so I could find it myself. more easily when I first did this. So, now that we're in my office of destruction, let's take a look at this guy. So, it sounds funny, but it's really important on my character here, on Santa. Actually, let's get him in his little bit more serious build, since this is actually his healer uniform. So I've got a Santa Claus looking one from like the original, and I've got Jack Frost. I tend to run Jack Frost when I'm doing when I'm being serious about PvP. And I think it's important to see a lot of ums. I think it's important though to have. It sounds weird, but I think it's important to have like a costume and stuff. You got to be able to get into your character when you're doing it. You don't want to, like, it sounds weird, but it's just as important to have a costume for your character that's going to match and make you feel like he's, see what I'm saying? You want him to be kind of mean. In PvP, it sounds weird. You're either going to go the reverse and have a character that people are not just not going to take seriously, and that's why I got that Santa Claus. This also helps with the healing aspect a little bit, but, you know, I obviously made that for Christmas, but I specifically have gone out actually and used it on purpose inside PvP for that reason. Or you're going to want something that is slightly, you know, that looks kind of intimidating, that has that punch your face in look, because the reason is people don't take that seriously at first until you've killed them a few times. Then it starts to strike, then it starts to sink in, right? And that's what we're going for in this. So the reason too is this build is, I would say, if you like it and you copy it, right? This is not like a newer person's kind of build. This takes a while. You actually have to strategize when you're fighting with it because it doesn't hit hard right up front. Let's look into what I'm talking about here. So, actually run two staffs of frostbite. So frostbite is one of the ones I'm using on here. Oh no. Oh yeah, there you go. So, and I'm using on one staff frost damage to up the frost damage because that's the main damage of this guy, and we're trying to get as much chance of doing brutal as we can. So critical, and then critical chance, which is way more important, especially since it's not capped, is and that's actually how brittle and burn and the other ones like proc, believe it or not, especially the frost damage one, brittle, which really you can absolutely start tearing into people. So this ice guy is all generated around debuffing. So, and that's one of the reasons I said he's perfect for working in PvP in a group and staying back. Like that's another one. If you're I've seen so many times somebody with a staff who just goes running in there, you know, and then the dude with the two-handed sword just goes execution, and you just watch him flop, and you're like, oh gosh, that hurt to watch, you know. So that's a big. And don't get me wrong, I'm totally guilty of that because I'll like run my tank for the longest time, and then I'll switch over to one of my other characters, and I'll forget like. You know, it's kind of slightly embarrassing, especially if you're doing a stream or something. You get in there and like, oh, that's right. So, back to what I was talking about though. So, this set is like one of my favorite sets. It's the favorite set, I should say, for any kind of frost damage, and it's the frostbite set because you got spell damage, critical chance, spell damage, and that's what you need as you upgrade this because critical's capped. Critical damage is capped, hard capped now. It's important to have higher normal damage so that you can up that critical chance. Because that's what critical is based off of, is your normal damage, how much your normal damage is doing. So if you can up your critical chance and up your damage alone, that essentially feeds into just a gorgeous overall number for killing. So that's actually something I used on my light attack build, but the ice build specifically, we want a good even middle because we're really working on is debuffing the living S out of somebody else. This is, you know, the living Stark Tower. Anyways, so this increases your damage done with frost abilities by 8%, increases your damage done against chilled enemies by 4%, increases your damage done against enemies afflicted by minor brittle by 2%, and all our other skills are going to be stacking right off of that. And the reason I said that, if you just add that together, and like I've said in other videos, so if you break it down, you're only doing a few things in this game. You can take all the debuffs in the world, and they can just go right into being able to kill somebody, making your damage better, damage higher. So realistically, if you just want to say weaken, instead of being like debuff, and not even have to look into what they do, you could just add those numbers, and you can just, so you got 12, you got 4, so it's almost 15% extra damage, essentially. That's what you're doing. That's really what that says. You know, you don't have to know all the extra secrets there. It's not super important, as long as you're actually doing those. That would be the real key. So, I do use Maelstrom every once in a while. So, single target, and small groups, I'm using these two, the Frostbite. I will switch out to Maelstrom if I'm doing like large zergs, because you can lay down a nice, beautiful little area channel, you know, basically a carpet with one of the skills on here. You lay down a carpet, anything in the carpet gets hurt way more. Light and heavy attacks deal an additional 1,353 damage to enemies in the Wall of Elements. The Wall of Elements is a small carpet. I mean, I wish it was big like the dragons. Trust me, like, I would love it if I could just, you know, just kind of envision the other character. I think this is a yellow, so envision red or yellow being like carpet, you know, getting out of the way. You know, that'd be kind of cool, right? Everybody likes to think they're cool in that, or, you know, tough as nails, as per se. So, and here's our I'm running this for the helm, Ice Visage. This is not that hard to get. Critical chance up again. That's super important. You notice anything that has to do with ice, it's always saying critical chance. So when you do critical chance damage, you have a 20% chance to gain a damage shield. This helps us, what sustains us. This keeps, they call it sustain, but it keeps us alive. I like to make it easy. You know, we don't have to have all these new words for stuff. Just keep us alive for 6 seconds, or sustains us. While the damage shield holds, you also Here's another cool ticker. 1,216 frost damage to all enemies with 5 meters. So multiply that by 3, and that gives you 15 feet. So that's actually a smaller area. It's not huge. 15 feet's, I mean, it's one regular 2x4 I would work with in my old work. So it's not massive, but it is enough that you can, there's other ways, there's 2 or 3 ways to actually play this guy, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. The effect can occur once every 6 seconds, and it's, oh, and it scales. So that's scales off the higher your weapon or spell. So that's always super, super important, at least to me, right? Excuse me. And then Hrothgar's Chill set. Stunning, immobilize an enemy, causes them to burst with frost magic, applying chilled status effects, and dealing 13% of their total physical and spell resistance. And this is where I'm talking about. This is where those tanky guys, where you're like, you just can't kill them. This is where all of a sudden it's like, what? Oh, he's dying. Everybody gets excited. I mean, you're not only just a backup, but you're also the morale officer, right? But so this is where it's the game changer. And if they're not one of those tanky guys, man, and you got your good DPSs, you should be behind the DPSs with this character. You should never be super total in front. I mean, you're only edging up just a little bit, just so you're able to hit their hitbox with this character. The only time you go in, I'll show you, it's when you're using special shields. But either way, being able to do more physical damage to them because they have higher resistance is going to be beautiful. And the brittle and everything else that starts stacking, and I'll show you, we're going to use multiple debuffs that if I eat, the only thing we're going to be missing is poison. And then, I mean, there's going to be probably somebody else running poison anyway. So it's just gorgeous. And that's really the name of the game in this. So we'll move on. I don't want this to be the normal 2-hour one, explaining the same thing over and over again, right? So, and the same to Iceheart, right? It's the same thing, Hrothgar. It's not that different. It doesn't, in a weird way, right here, these ones do not matter. Your chest, waist, hands, shoulders, legs don't matter how you want to put them in there, but you do need that amount of, like, the frostbite, Hroth, ice. So it doesn't, or not ice, excuse me, Hroth. So it doesn't matter which one of those is going to be a frostbite, but it does matter that you have that same amount of 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I do that right? No. See, 3 Hoth and 1 frostbite. So the next one is our Hrothgars, are 2 frostbite rings, 1 Hrothgar amulet, and you got 2 frostbite staffs. So this is not, I'm not using any kind of like extra special one. You can fiddle with this if you want. I would recommend that Ring of Belthar or whatever. It's the one that does all that extra light attack damage. That would work also well with this. Might make you a little bit weaker in some areas, but I'm sure people can figure it out. I mean, that's half the fun of the game. So you got Hrothgar, right? And I'm going to be using, for the rings, Healthy. I'm using that because I'm trying to, that is what just helps me not die as quick. You can stack Bloodthirsty, which is pretty interesting. I've tried it out. It does work. I don't know if it works in all instances. I have heard people find it not work in certain avenues, so I've always wondered, I've wanted to experiment with that. But I'm adding spell damage to that, right? And then just a little bit healthy there. I know a lot of people like to do the whole glass cannon thing, but if you're flopping all over the place, I mean, do you really want to be the extra reason why everybody died inside one of the new bombs they're probably going to come out with? Or the current bombs? I don't, so you want to have just that extra health so that you can point at somebody else and be like, it's his fault. So, and I'm using frost damage. Again, frost damage. Weapon attachment effect. This is that's critically important. Do not change infused. It's got to be infused. You want to have the effect because that's what gives the brittle and the slow. Ice is going to do slow, and this all combines together. If you see what I'm saying, you're going to remember that I had said, I think it was the Hrothgar. Oh, somebody slowed. So that really works out pretty well together. Yeah, and let's just let's go over this one. Maximum Magicka, because you're going to be burning through it like crazy. Mundus Stone. That needs to be changed. Instead of reduces block. That one I actually need to... looks like I need some transmute crystals. But that would actually be Mundus Stone effect. Increase the damage a little bit. Magicka, armor value. That's on purpose right there, because I want a little bit of armor so I'm not flopping again. Increased health Magicka. I'm gonna have to change that one out too. That will be changed out to Mundus Stone as well. Or armor. I always run 2 with armor like that. And then you got Mundus Stone effect, and that one, the block, I might change that out. You can keep the block if you really want to. If you're good with hitting that block trigger, and you know your rotation in that way by heart, you don't actually have to have the armor hit. You can keep the 2 block and go the rest in Mundus Stone. Just because block, if you have the slotted for the Sigic Order, that block can, and it'll throw up a damage shield. And I'll show you what I'm talking about really quick before I move on here to the rest of them. But inside Sigic Order, there's other stuff I want to get to this side to kind of make him a true Santa Claus, right? So you can go back in time just for giggles, right? Knee slapper, as they say. Oh, do I not have it on her? Oh, bee sting. By what else? Oath. I don't have it on here, but inside the Sigic Order, there is a passive. Meaning, if you're new to this, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Down here, anything down in these little areas where it says passive abilities, there's a passive that allows you to, anytime you block, throw up a shield, an actual damage shield for so long. It takes either so much damage or so much time. Most shields work that way. That is highly recommended for anything, but if you're good enough, I was saying you can keep the block on any character like that in some weird ways. It just depends on how you like to play it. If you're going to be doing more blocking, that realistically means you're going to be doing less damage. You can do a little bit extra if you do it right, but anyways, so let's get on to the skills here. Or actually, no, I want to do CP points first. Champion points. That's what CP means, is champion points. So inside here, I'll play her. I always do fall damage if I'm not putting it somewhere else, mainly because it helps not hurting, you know what I mean? Especially like there's certain areas in Cyrodiil. This is, like I said, this is kind of a PvP build in Cyrodiil where it helps not, and you can use this in dungeons. People love it. I've worked Plague Break. I got a good friend of mine, Senior. He likes to run Plague Break, and I like to run this guy in Brittle. He's often asked me to bring in Santa Claus just because when you start combining all these debuffs and somebody explodes, they're all dead. Doesn't matter how fast they run. It's just how it works. So it's actually hilarious. I would recommend it sometime. So Plague Break and this, have somebody run Plague Break, and it's pretty funny. Anyway, so Way Shrines right cross. That doesn't. This is. I'm just trying to get up to here. So this is my route to get it. You can also go this way. You can start down here if you prefer to get more gold, right? You can. The point is you're trying to get up to using less weapons, enchantments. That's kind of important, but not crazy important. If you're going to end up having a bunch of soul gems, anyways. But it does help so you're not having to constantly redo it and get interrupted is really what that is. So here is the more important is right here is Gifted Rider, War Mount. I would recommend both of these for any kind of PvP character. It doesn't really matter. And the other one is, here's my bad. This is what I'll be working on once I get there. But Steed's Blessing, because you can increase your movement speed by, I think it was like, it's pretty high. It's like 20% or something. It's enough that once you stack your 20% or whatever over here, you can stack your amount up to over here, which like it's going to get another 10%. And then all you have to do is throw a few things into the actual Stable Master, plus Rapid Maneuver. And I'll show you that because I'm sure where that is. Plus Rapid Maneuver, which I believe it's in the PvP line, so you're going to be getting that anyways, right? That's fighter skill. There we go. It's in the support PvP. I thought it was in support. Not rapid maneuver, excuse me. It's continuous attack. So rapid maneuver is super useful, but continuous attack, not rapid maneuver. So continuous attack, because it gives you another 30%. So that gives you like 60, right? And only the first time does it give you that 30% speed. It does increase your weapon damage and your magicka stamina recovery. So throw that extra point in. If you're creating a key PvP character, put your points into the PvP stuff. At least the passives. Like there's no, it's So if you don't use Warhorn or Vigor or something else, or these other shields that can be super useful, at least put into the... If you don't put them into the passives, you're going to absolutely hate yourself inside PvP. You can see I'm still working on it too, because I understand half the time you're building your character, the skill points got to go into actually building it, right? But if you don't have them in the other ones, you're gonna be miserable inside PvP, especially because, I mean, you don't want to spend most of your time getting somewhere and then dying right after 2 seconds. So here we go, real quick. So inside here, I'm putting stuff into Magicka so I can get my Magicka back. This sounds crazy, but I also put it into here, increases my healing. So because if I heal myself, it's healing done, even to yourself. So I might have 1% and it's going to increase later, but that's a free one. So I would always, and it just, to me, if I get extra ones and it's not one I'm going to slot, I always find another one of these that doesn't need to be slotted, and I always try to put it in there. And I think that's the only one afterwards too, that the rest of the healing is strictly for healers. So, but Magicka, so I'm never running out of that. There's other ones you can do here, but I don't have those. But I've got Untamed Aggression slotted, because that gives me more weapons and spell damage, and I need that for my critical damage. And then Arcane Supremacy, because the critical damage is what's going to do the clutch here. It's what's going to be able to, once you get all your debuffs and you finally hit them, they just can crumble. They actually will freeze and turn to ice, and then actually literally crumble. So you can be like, wow, I'm really cool. And that makes you feel good. So... and this increases your Magicka. That's important too, because like I said, you're going to burn through it like crazy in this one. This side of the tree, I've been working on a few other ones to experiment with it a little bit, because I like to continue building characters. After I kind of got them there, I like to fiddle. So, but this increases my damage of area effects. So if I'm doing PvE and I'm going to use my Maelstrom a little bit more with this guy in a dungeon, because you can use this in a dungeon, I would not so much recommend it in a trial, because you don't want DPSs with low damage in a trial. Normal, maybe it's okay if it's not too hard, but you don't want to be doing you don't want to be doing any veterans. You don't want to be doing any harder mechanics like NCR +3. You wouldn't want to be doing that on any kind of +3 with this character. I have done it, but I mean, it's just I hate to be the guy who, when somebody starts being like, there's just not enough damage in this group, I don't want to be the dude with the hair standing up the back of my neck being like, is it me? You can help them do burn damage, but if there's just more damage overall needed, just, you know what I mean, but like, hey, let me switch characters. So that is important though, because there are a lot of AoEs, so I always have that one slotted. Here's another one I'll probably be working on later, but it increases your damage with direct damage attacks. That'll be kind of cool. Not super important right now. Here's one that is, though, increases the damage done with over time effects. Because frost damage and stuff is an over time effect, we want that, right? Because we want to be able to stack. This build is just a stack build. Increases your damage done with single target stack. I'm kind of working on that too. I mean, but like I said, the ones I'm really doing are right here and right here, because I'll show you why later. We're going to be doing our ultimate that really just melts everybody around us. Is a massive AoE ice storm that it's so big that if you have all this other ice stuff going, you can almost like go invisible. Here's really important for PvP. You see this extended might? That's like the PvP CP area right there. There's your offensive penetration. Here's increases chance to apply martial status effects. Oh my gosh, that's us. By 60%, right? So that's martial status effects, though, however, it's talking about with a sword and stuff too. But that gets me over here where I want to be with the weapon damage, max attacks from floss frame damage. So, right, that's what we want right there. And spell, right? So that's, just still click that up. But either way, you don't actually have to fill that all the way up. You could go to 20, but I was experimenting with some stuff early on. But it's still, I tend not to pull stuff out once I put it in. But you can see how all of these ones, except for this guy you actually have to put in. Increase your damage done with light and heavy attacks. I'm not really into that. I have that on a different character. But this one, here's another one. Increase your chance to apply martial startup effects by 30% per stage. Here's another one. These are all free. Grants 100% weapon damage and martial attacks. So you don't actually, with physical, like poison, bleed, right? Werewolf should always have that on. I actually have Werewolf on this character if I really wanted to. Later on, when I expand the build to be able to do more, that's what we'll have. But at least you can kind of see. We got, I think I already talked about Arcane and just the Untamed Aggression. because it gives more damage. Yeah, we're gonna move on over here to fighting finesse. This increases your critical damage and critical healing. Definitely want that. And then here's our critical chance. So that's just these guys here. That would be our warfare line. And now we're gonna go over to fitness. I like how they're like craft, warfare. It used to be thief, mage, warrior. They changed the lore as they go. I don't know why. But so I got fortitude because this helps me not flop. This is a very floppy character, even with a lot of this on there. More health. Like I said, still a floppy character though. And of course, I want my regeneration just in case. And then I've got tumbling. This is a free one, so I always put extras in there as we're going. And as you can see, I've got reduces elemental status effect. That helps for my character not flop easy again. And then stunned foes cause them to major being stunned or feared. This is good for PvP. I like it because I don't, it's going to happen a lot inside PvP. And because my guy's floppy, I want that extra chance where it pulls it out and just doesn't die. And they're like, what the heck? Not really quick, right? So, and this is just an extra one too, being quick. But the ones that are really important are health per stage, shield master, and again, the effectiveness of my shield, so it's cheaper and stuff. Later on, we can put some stuff to reduce block and all that. But I mean, those are just the basic ones. The most important ones are in warfare. So, now that they got that, let's jump over to some skills. You hungry? That's my daughter. I'm hungry. I'm hungry, daddy. We're like best friends now, and she just, anything she needs to come over and be like, I'm hungry. She's always kind of eating. She's like 90 percentile for like muscle and stuff. She's very muscular little girl, which is weird for a kid that's only like 2. Are you hungry like this? Yeah? Okay. So this is our ultimate I was talking about before that ends up destroying everything. This is North Star. So a twist of violent storm around you does 4,101 frost damage every second for 8 seconds. So basically what they're saying is multiply that first number by 8. Woo, that's big. I'm not even gonna do that. I know that's gonna be massive. So, and it also does what? Enemies around you reduce their movement speed. Oh my gosh, Hofgar! Increases your maximum magic scale by 15% for 30 seconds. So you pop that off, that thing's swirling, and you can still shoot and just like, you're a rolling, Zerg yourself in some ways. If you can get guys that don't freak out and stay with you while you're doing that, then all of a sudden you've got a group of you can literally, I've always wanted to do this with a bunch of werewolves because it becomes a rolling like death machine, it's like cutting your grass in the middle of a blizzard. Just to chew everything up kind of thing. Anyways, so that's our first one. North Star, and then I go to Green Lotus. So it sounds weird. The blessing causes your light attacks to restore health and your fully charged heavy attacks to heal you, blah blah blah, and heals nearby allies. So that's really helpful for me. But while activated, you gain major prophecy and savagery. That's why I'm doing it. Sure, it helps me stay alive, helps my friends stay alive, because really, with this character, it's your other group members that are your shield. You want them to die first. You want to play the coward in this a little bit. You're trying to play like, if it was like a role-playing game, you're the master evil wizard who doesn't ever actually get in there to try to take on the good guy, right? So you're trying to run if everything goes bad. Seriously, though, I'm not even kidding. This is, he does a lot of damage and can do really well, but you don't want to be in anybody's face at all. But this is the important part. While activated, gain your major prophecy and savagery, increasing your spell and weapon and critical by 2,600. We're just stacking that on, basically. This is like another sandwich. This is a good stacker build. I like to call it the sandwich build. I'm hungry. Wrap a thick. I need to record that because I might just put that in some other video. I'm hungry. That'd be funny to just throw a little weird thing in there every once in a while. I need extra health. I'm hungry, Oh, I forgot my food. I'm hungry. We used to make this joke in my guild, just like side note. We used to go around being like, chicken. Or, oh, I got my chicken. when we first started this like 2 years ago, we had a buddy of ours, King Stark, and he'd forget the chicken. I don't even remember how it got started. It was food. They always called the food chicken instead of being like, "Oh, I need to get my food." Well, I didn't have my food. I was like, "Oh, I didn't eat my chicken," and it was just like this big chicken dinner thing. For some reason, it was weird. It was pretty funny after a while. Anyways, here's Ice Fortress. This is gonna help us a lot. Wrap a thick cloak. This is our healing ability. Wrap a thick cloak of ice around us and our allies. Grants them major resolve. Increasing, oh no, this is the one that gives our resistance up. Excuse me. Increases your physical and spell resistance by quite a bit. 6,000 for 25 seconds. That is a long time in a fight. I'm not even kidding you. This is beautiful. Plus, you gain minor protection, reducing your damage taken by 5% for 25 seconds. So you get resistance plus less damage. This always buys me probably 2 seconds, to be honest. In like a Zerk, like there's 4 to 6 people, like a small thing like that. Not a major Zerk. I mean, that would be crazy. But even if I got 4 to 6 people or a dungeon, I'm the only one left, I've been able to, you can pull off some pretty cool feats and make yourself look like you know what you're doing with being able to hit this first, and then you're going to switch over and you're going to hit your crystallized slab. Crystallized slab, I'll explain that later. But that's the, "Oh Lord Jesus, don't let me die, please, I'll believe in you" button. You know, Winter's Revenge. Conjure icy cold shards. This, I love this. This is like, I'll literally stand on top of the walls and just spam the living crap out of that. Or if our buddy Lugier or my wife or somebody else is on a tank and they're in PvP and they're going in to get people's attention by not dying, I'll just start spamming that around them. Literally just cover them in that ice shard so it's burning out, you know, spiking out from where they're at, and people are going to be like, "What the?" It helps to draw the attention to them while our other damage guys can start knocking people out. We're supposed to work together technically like that. So if they don't have more damaged people helping us out, it still helps them stay alive because you're doing damage from people around them. Enemies hit or overcome with bitter cold, reducing their movement speed. Hrothgar! And the ability has a higher chance to applied shield status effect. Now, like I said, if we're doing that to our guys, helping them out like that, all of a sudden the people around them are starting to die. I've gotten like 20 to 25 assists with this character inside Battlegrounds just because this sort of thing where you're assisting. This is not a character where you're going to have like 25 kills. No, you're going to have, people are going to look at your assist and be like, "That doesn't make sense." Arctic Blast. This one's the one that heals us. I've spammed this to not die quite often, and it does work. You can also use this if you got your shield going, right? So they're coming after you. You've been waiting and being patient. You got your North Storm at 500. You've just popped your Ice Fortress. You switched over really quick. You hit your Crystallize, and then you're going to switch over one more time, and you're going to go Green Lotus. And as soon as you hit your Green Lotus, you hit your potion for more damage. Boom. You pop off your 500 on your North Storm. You just run at them and hit Arctic Blast the whole time. And it's just this swirling ice thing everywhere, because this thing will envelop yourself in winters, instantly healing you, so it keeps you alive as you're trying to kill them with your North Storm. And this is just a spammable. This is the third way of doing this, playing this character. It's just getting your ultimate up and doing a spam. And the additional health and every second's portion. Ooh, there we go. Portion of this ability scales off your max health. While this effect persists, the winds pulse outwards, dealing 1,537 frost damage every second to nearby enemies. Enemies hit by this effect 3 times are stunned, and they actually freeze too. They freeze in place, and when they're freeze in place, all of a sudden you get that brittle, and things start stacking up, and that whirling. You can have like, I've had like, I think the most I've ever had was like 5 or 6 people frozen around me because of this. They get stuck, and then they're like, trying to get out, and all of a sudden they're frozen, they die, their characters actually freeze, and it was just cool to see. It was like this weird, macabre menagerie of frozen people inside Cyrodiil, and the North Storm stops, and I stop, and it was just kind of like, the storm calms down, and then all of a sudden the frozen statues break off. I've got a video of it somewhere. It was like so cool. Don't get me wrong, I've only done that like one time, but it was so satisfying to build the character and do that. So that's super important though. Here's another one. This is going to be the one that I've killed most people with. This is the one that, aside from, this is that last one I talked about how to hit those in a certain synchronicity. That is specifically for going in there, and the only time you're going to go in there is when you have your North Star ultimate. That way they're wholly distracted. They will run from you. If you've got that enough going, you've got your shield, it will run from you when they realize you're dying. If they don't run from you, that's because they don't realize what's going on. They're probably new. So, just not paying attention, basically, right? Here's another one I love. Do not use this in a dungeon. This does aggro, if I remember. Devastate enemies with the enhanced... mobilize enemies inflicted... Oh, may not be the one that aggroes. Anyways, devastating an enemy with a enhanced charge from your staff deals 3,700... So something like 4,000 frost damage, applying the stilled status effect. So this is the one that I like to... Once I've buffed myself up, I'm going to hit Icy Fortress, Green Lotus, and then I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to go Crystallized Slab. And once I've got my Crystallized Slab, I'm going to shoot elements out there. And most of that stuff right there takes a little while. By the time you get there, you're actually able to hit this off like 4 or 5 times. Frost Clench before you have to switch over. You're going to back up a little bit because you don't want to get close. I'm shooting this from pretty far away. I mean, look at it, 15 meters. Multiply that by 3, right? So that's going to be, I think it's like almost like 55 feet, right? 15, 3, 15, 5, right? Yep, 4, yep, 55 feet. 55 feet away. I'm 55, I want to be 55 feet away. No more than 50 feet closer to my enemy when I'm shooting this at them, because it's not a character to get close. But it also immobilizes the enemy, inflicts them with my major maim for 5 seconds, reducing their damage done by 10%. So this allows us to get in there, get them stuck, get them chilled, start debuffing them like crazy. We'll now switch over to the next area. And the other one I like to use, if I can't get in there, if they're just really, these guys are organized and I can see that they are chewing through people, I'll pop this, creates a catalytic storm. Anyways, a storm at the target's location that builds after 2 seconds, then lays waste to all enemies in the area. You know, deals 8,000 frost damage every second for 7 seconds. Anytime it says frost damage, that means you have a chance for brittle and stuff, which is all based off of our critical chance. Hit a critical, boom. It's gonna automatically do your brittle and stuff. Like, it's just gonna, then all of a sudden our Hrothgar and all their other stuff. Then the enemies, because of the other set, or the Frostbite set, are gonna be actually doing damage to people around them because they exhume that damage from the other set. Enemies hit or immobilized for 3 seconds. So, like I said, it's just all of a sudden things start stacking, and it's beautiful once you get it going. Don't get me wrong, there's no perfect build, right? At some point, you're gonna get your face beat in. It's PvP. You gotta get used to that. If you don't like that, don't play PvP. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be mean, but to be serious, if you don't like losing, don't ever go into PvP. That's how it works, unfortunately. So this is my S button. Spin a shield of rice. Spin a shield of rice around you, and as it grows, now spin a shield of ice around you, absorbing 42,000 damage from projectiles. That is stupidly insane. And because I'm gonna be farther back, that's what it's gonna be coming at me anyways. Most of the time. Each time you absorb a projectile, it restores my magicka. This helps me stay alive again, right? Gives me what I need. And you launch an icy bolt back at them, right? It's like, what the? 6,000 frost damage. That's a decent chunk, actually, for just a regular attack. This effect can even occur every half second. So, I mean, if you were let's just say somehow you were on top of it and you had on top of a tower, people are just shooting at you and they're not coming at you, you could be shooting these things every half second. That's insane. Be cool. You almost feel like a god. Anyways, next one. This is you have to have this on this build. This is the Blue Betty. And this restores my magicka, gives it back. It also increases my weapon and spell damage by 20%, right? And every 5 seconds, the Netch removes 1 negative effect. I'm going to say this again. This is critical to have this on this build. I mean, if you figure out another way, please let me know, because I would love to learn and keep going. I like to learn. This is another one. I love this. This device is one of the funniest. You can lay down 3 of these. You can have up to 3 of these frozen devices at a time, and it pulls people to you. This is a pull. They actually warp from one area to another. It takes 1.5 seconds, so like half a second. And the way we view things, it would be like half a second to pop off. Unless you're actually in battle. When you're in battle, you're going to be like, come on already. When triggered, the enemy is teleported to you. Immobilizes them for 30 seconds. Boom. Hrothgar activates. Deals 6,000. I'm not even going to be like, 5,000. No, 6,000 frost damage. Afflicted with major maim, reducing their damage done by 10%. And we have another minor maim in there. So that's 15%. If we're doing our rotation, it's going to be gorgeous in that way. And I'll show you how I do this too, if I can remember. It's been a while since I played this one, but it'll be kind of fun. Send the elements to sap. So I'll play this for a little while too. I've done that with my other werewolf, just so you guys can see what it looks like in my other one. So when I get on the ESO and we're watching me again, I'll do this and you guys can kind of see how it's supposed to work. Send the elements to sap an enemy's defense and afflict them with minor breach. Does damage to every 6 seconds with ability. You're gonna hit chilled, confusion, burning, side effects. The other side effects will hurt them. This one, I'm not even kidding. Always start your attack with this. Rotation starts off right here. 33 meters. That's 60. That's 100 feet essentially. And it lasts for a full minute. That's actually quite a while. And then I do blockade frost if I have my ice staff on. If I have my maelstrom on. If I do not have my maelstrom on, I will be using on this, and I believe I'm going to get there. Do not use this outside of PvP, because you're going to piss off a tank. Like, really easy, if I can find it. I think, maybe it was just sort of clenched it, actually. Was this the one that initiates it? Yeah, so, there it is. This is important, so this is aside from what I was just saying, but this is important. I was showing this other bar a little earlier. If your destructive clenches should only be used in PvP unless you're the tank. If you're a tank, go for it, because this actually aggroes. It's another, I think, one of the 4 or 5 aggros that anybody can have. They've got one in the Daunted. They've got one, I think, in Fighters Guild. They've got one here in Mages Guild, and I think what was the other one? Maybe there's only 3 other aggros you can just get. I think there's 4. I'm pretty sure there's 4. Anyways, so that's just be careful. I mean, I've accidentally kept it on, and I mean, if you're with friends, they'll be like, oh yeah, cool, just switch it real quick. But if you're not, I like to use this one here because Pulse also provides minor protection. So I'll switch out the Pulse. That does actually a decent amount of damage, and it also damages nearby enemies, afflicting them with minor mangle, reducing their health by 10%. So if I'm doing PvP without the Maelstrom and doing just Frostbite staff, I'll throw this on, boom, right there. And so this is there's quite a few debuffs. So you can see this kind of like my back bar, right? Let's just say it. Let's just go with that. Why not? Why not? It's my back bar. And that's what we got. So other than that, I always recommend when you're doing all these other guys, just grab all these passives as you can. Doesn't matter, like if I'm running other sets, like because I've run heavy and light on this one, so I have my passives and stuff in there. And Daunted and Soul Magic, you can do extra damage with some of these. Revive twice without them right here. Health drops below 20. There's my extra damage again. Right? So, and then I think there's a few in Fighters Guild. There's from some in Mages Guild. Not so much in those. And Daunted. Here's another good one. Activating Synergy. This is going to keep... You're going to have synergies in PvP. You might as well have these, obviously I still need to upgrade this, but you might as well have these. So, I mean, if you're just a PvP person, yeah, that means you need to go in and do some dungeons and get to know some of these other people, right? Get to know them. No, I'm kidding. You don't actually get to know them. Just go out and do other dungeons, randos, until you get this up there where you can get rank 8, so you can get that unlocked. And if you're a person who does the whole game, cool. You know what to do, right? So Undaunted Metal, so because I have 2 different ones on and stuff, I'm actually running my Monster Helm on heavy and stuff, so I can have these extra little slight extra buffs, right? But it's that extra slight as I'm starting to stack. This is a sandwich build, stack, right? PvP, I want to have all my PvP passives unlocked, and that's kind of it for this character. Let's see here. So that's it. We can strike this into Battlegrounds and see if I can remember how to even play. I don't remember if I actually have the appropriated stuff slotted. So I normally use like Corrupting Bloody Mara on this guy, just because I want to be able to get that stuff back. Here we are. No, that's stealth. Actually, I'll use this sometimes, stealth detection. Essence of detection, so you can actually make that if you're getting tired of people killing you. For getting stabbed in the back, basically. I'll actually get some. Sometimes I'll put on. Oh, see, yeah, I do have it set up that way. So, this one I specifically made so I can, if I'm having problems or I need to be a little tankier, I use my potions to offset my balances, right? Grants you minor heroism, storing 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds, right? So, invisibility. That's the OS get out of there one. Right there. And then, here you go. Major intellect increases your magic and regeneration. That's important, but I'm looking for major evasion. Restores. That's actually pretty cool. Restores health. Here it is. Essence of Spell Critical, right? This is the one. I want Major Prophecy. Some of this is already stacking stuff on top, but I restore health too on this one too. This character is going to need it. So, and then Spell Protection. If I've got another, if it's a Sorcerer match-off, right? Boom, boom. I'm going to hit Spell Protection because I know he's going to try to hit me more harder with his spells. So if I just negate that, then my normal stuff is going to stack and eventually kill him. So this is a character, and here's Survivor ones. Like I've got all kinds of. I don't really actually need that on this character, but I've got all kinds of ones on this dude. Potions, because that is how I like to tip the odds, and you'll find that's what other people do too. Sometimes I even have poisons just in case I need that slight edge, and it's like frost magic ain't doing it all the way, and I'm gonna be doing frost magic in other areas anyways. So see, I got lethal poisons, and I can throw it on the back bar. Draining one, drain stamina and magicka. They're gonna be like, why is my stuff? Their bar will shrink when you drain it. They're gonna be like, my food's not working. So you do two things. One, you take away their stuff. Two, you're actually gonna leave them second guessing themselves, second guessing the game. They're no longer focused on killing you as much, which means they're gonna get angry soon. As soon as they get angry, what happens, ladies and gentlemen? We make bad decisions, and all of a sudden they're getting smashed all the time. So I'm gonna queue in here for a battleground and see if I can't embarrass myself. Just to show you off, like, kind of how this guy works. Hopefully I get with some good characters on this, and I can get, like, a really easy one to show you how it's supposed to work. Doesn't mean it's actually going to work that way. But the cool part is, at least I showed you what this build is supposed to be. Ouch, Lord mercy, this hurts. What this build is supposed to be doing. And I got to show off my cool little house. This was actually our PvE leader's house. At one point. This would actually, I guess, be seniors. These are only. Oh no, this would be what the heck? What is his name? Mr. Murr. Just call me Murr. Actually, his gamer tag handle. This would actually be his little house because it's the closest we got to a PvE guy right now for our trials. We haven't had a true PvE king since Mr. Mantra left. To get some more of just more things. It's switching games. I can understand. I keep coming back to this because I'm a guild master, and honestly, I like it. It's nice to get through some of the harder times. I just created this. You'll be seeing later. I'm making a slight kind of cool music video. Obviously, this is the backstage. Why not? While we're waiting, I'll show you the backstage. So I set this all up. you can't see that, the ball, and or even some of that, all the fire in the video. But it's just kind of a cool one. I'm going to show some PvE stuff, and we're a werewolf guild, so I've been messing around with the musical instruments in another house, and I've got a guy standing here, and then this guy actually kind of almost blends in with one of my special mementos. So, I don't know why I definitely want that one on. Mementos, so... Oh, by the way, I always have a tri-spot one on there just because those have saved my butt more times. It's not even funny. Looks like I only have like one left. Lord mercy, what? I'm gonna have to go grab that from, before we queue up here. Otherwise, that could end up being super bad. I have a bunch of those in my bank, so I'm gonna have to run over and... Quickly now! So that was, this is the Hunter's Glade, and I went through a portal right there. You saw where I was. It was, Hircine's realm. Lord mercy, man. My wife. Anyways, so, let's see here. Oh no, are you kidding me? And that's the queue. I think this happened last time where I had no food and nothing like that on my other character. I showed it off. It actually did really well, so we'll see. Like I said, the key to this right now is me kind of remembering to stay back. Otherwise, it's going to hurt really bad. And so the way to gauge how well you're doing in this character is not how many kills necessarily doing. That's super important, but the way to gauge with this is particularly how many... Ooh, they've already started. It's not ever a good sign. It's not. So they got more of these staffs, right? I'm gonna have to try to stay behind. There's our other guy. Try to stay behind. Where is everybody? Here we go. Oh, come on. So my mistake there was I didn't get my Betty out. That was the one thing I forgot to do. So it does take, like, before you got to think about what you're doing. You can't just run in with this character. But you got to see that there. Come on, Betty. Here we go. Like I said, I haven't played this character in a little bit, so I'm trying to remember actually getting the muscle memory of the buttons back again. There it is. do that, they're like, oh, stay back, stay back. So as long as I keep my rotation going, you can kind of keep them back. Oh, there it is right there. I shouldn't have gone in like that. I don't like to go in the same one. I honestly don't even like to go in those main ones. These side ones are so much better. See if I can help our guys out.
Oh, so we're actually fighting now?
Oh yeah. Look at our score. Pretty cool, huh? This is what I'm talking about. I may not look like I'm doing a lot, but I'm helping. This is the help, the build that like can help. This is the clutch. This is like the sandwich clutch build. The sandwich when you're eating and driving a clutch. Super important to eat a sandwich when you're driving a clutch, right? I think this sort of thing is not used often enough. I am the winter! Time to go. Way too close there. Alright, switch to health then. Usually you want to have a bunch of these critical ones like that. Here we go, little debuff. Let's bring that guy closer to us. Here we go. Hit this. Hit that. Boom, he's dead. Going to kill off the rest. You shouldn't have brought me close like that, buddy. Lay on some mustard with our sandwich stackers.
The stars bless us this day!
You wanna keep it on them. So there's something in Sea of Thieves we tend to do in that game is always keep them busy with something on their boat. There we go. And they got me. Whew. Look at that. Alright. Here we go. Going in. Bumper stickers! There's SpongeBob. There's Patrick. Do I have any spell criticals left? I don't. That stinks. Oh well. So I did that because I'm pulling those two guys away from that dude down there. There was two, so it looks like the orange guys got them, but I was trying to make it to separate them. I know that this character, because of the shields and stuff and the ice and brittle and all that name, that I can survive just a little bit longer as a DPS to be able to pull those people away. Enemy stole your kill. So you're going to get a lot of assists because you're going to be touching people all over with this character. And not in a bad way. Or I should say in a bad way, not in a good way. Excuse me. Wow. Well, that's a little bit awkward, to be honest. Oh, it didn't pop off. Dang it. Here's my mistake of getting in battle way too quick. That I should have made sure that I had my rotation ready, that I had all my buttons hit, and that things were working in tandem. Otherwise, right, my sets aren't going to work, and then I'm just, you know, people aren't killing each other just with standing near each other because of the Hrothgar. The Hrothgar. There we go. Make sure I get my buttons hit this time. Oh, woo, here they come. They're catching up. We were doing pretty well. They figured out what I'm doing. They figured out that I'm debuffing people. They're separating us, so I'm gonna follow this guy. I need to, and I'm going in there. And I'm pretty sure that's the mistake I made. Our friends over here. Both of the other ones, so here we are. One down. Time to go. Can't get the points if they can't kill you.
Are we suddenly unwell?
Die already! I need to get on the other side, I'm way too separated. Ah, I never did get enough magicka for that last shield. Woo! Yep, there it is. Good stuff. Orange has got a good rotation down. I mean, Templars, like, that's just those hard guys to beat. But this is a fun build, as you can see. We were definitely heading off right in the beginning there. I think Orange is going to pull it up. I never go through those. They literally can wait for you there. There it is. Only 9 assists. What? No. See, the other guy's got 23 up there, so that's not too... That's actually not the best I've done with this, obviously, but it's done better. Actually got 4 kills. Died way too many times. Need to stop rushing in there. And like I said, I'll show you a little bit more of how this works. I'll just keep playing this until I can get my rotation down, because I'm definitely trying to remember the sticky button method, as I like to call it. And that would be just around the hour duration for this, and I might stream later tonight. We'll see what happens. I've got to check on some of the other companies like Rare and see what they're doing, Sea of Thieves and stuff, and I wouldn't even mind doing this character again and showing you how it works in dungeons and stuff, just to get my button layout. Remember to do it. But you can at least get the idea. You got to see, like, people get frozen, people get stuck. You got to see, like, if I was with melee characters, it's gonna work way much better, especially with, like, plague breaking characters. Got things that stack as well. This is a stacker. Like, I'm not even supposed to. I'm actually surprised I even got 4 kills. But I was hoping to get way more assists, but the other people just weren't killing either as quickly as I was hoping. But that's me too. Like, right? I gotta be killing too. So it's just that's Battleground. So it depends on who you get with, because it's oddly enough, right? This game is exactly made and to work with. It's made so that you're working with your character, and what it does works with other characters in order to get the best advantage out of all your skills. And so you may not always get, because it's random, you may not always get the best other characters that are going to work well with your skills. Other times you are, and that's why I like Battlegrounds. It's like kind of a gamble. It's either going to be fun or you're going to hate it. That one actually wasn't too bad. That was fun. That was like pretty cool. It got in there and almost dominated for a little bit, and it looks like they actually, you notice that Orange wasn't there for a second. So what happens to these guys, that's probably a good Battleground crew who's done it quite a few times. They have more than one set on themselves. They're probably in a party, and they'll stop there and be like, hold on, don't move, let's change our sets. They'll change. If you pull out werewolves, what are they going to do? They change the sets that do poison. So yeah, usually going to have a few sets on them that work well with their other ones. And I might even do that one sometime and build something. But everybody, it's Club Cashew 50 here. This is my Santa Claus build, and it's, whoa, that is way too serious for Santa Claus, isn't it? Yeah, that's like my Jack Frost, what I like to call. So let's, there we go, cheerful. Yeah, that's Santa. So there we go. So that's, thanks for checking me out. You can check me out on YouTube, in Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can even check out this clan on ESO on Facebook under Clannan McTier. That's spelled CLANNMACTIRE, like tire, but it's actually pronounced tier. So, and you can also check us out. I do Star Trek Online. You can check us out on there under Clannan McTier, and that's under different management, right? You can. Hello, you. Yes, hi. Did you want a present, little boy? Check me out there, and we've got our own fleet or guild on Star Trek Online now. We just upgraded to 2nd tier on our star base. So we've got all kinds of stuff going on there, and that's under Skillsoft Surgeon as our fleet manager. I'm the guild master here in Elder Scrolls Online, and we've got all kinds of stuff. So just come out, come check with us. We even do Sea of Thieves. Just give us a heads up before. I don't mind if you message me. Just let me know you want to come play with me. That way I'm not like, who are you? Right? And we'll even get a bigger ship and you can have fun with us and get some, maybe even put a sleeper or a brigantine on top of a galleon, like we've done before. So thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time.